indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Have a number of announcements to make here this evening. First off, a week or so ago, were presented with the 2019 Downtown Investment Award given to the City of Winona for the work we did on Levy Park from the Downtown Winona Main Street program. So that was very nice of them to recognize us. Also have a couple of statements here I want to read. One regards the Winona Transit. On December 31st, the City of Winona received a notice of termination of contract for operations of the Winona Transit Service from Three Rivers Community Action, Inc. This notice provided the 120 days written notice of termination of the contract to the city pursuant to Section 5B II of the contract dated May 7, 2018. Three Rivers noted that they could not continue to operate our system unless the city agreed to a significant increase in our payments to them, despite this being the end of the first year of a 5-year contract. The effective date of termination is accordingly April 30th, 2020. As a result, Three Rivers' last day for providing services pursuant to the contract will be through the close of transit service operations on April 30th, 2020. The city expects that Three Rivers will fully comply with its contractual obligations and duties and continue to provide all of the contract services as required by the contract up to and through the last day of service operations on April 30th. City staff have already begun working with the Minnesota Department of Transportation staff to begin the request for proposals, the RFP process, with the goal of having a new vendor in place by April 30th. The city expects that Three Rivers will work with the city and the new transit contractor selected by the city in order to provide as seamless as practical a transition for the city bus riders so that there is no interruption in services by the new selected contractor. Our goal is to not have any interruption in service to the public and to begin evening dial-a-ride with the new contractor on May 1. Also have a statement to read. On December 16, 2019, the City Council held a closed meeting to evaluate the performance of Steve Sarvey, City Manager. In accordance with the governing law at this City Council meeting, which is the next open City Council meeting following the December 16 closed session, the City is required to summarize the conclusions of the evaluation of the performance of Mr. Sarvey reached by the City Council at the December 16 closed meeting. Conclusions. Mr. Sarvey did not request that such meeting be open to the public. As a result, the evaluation of Mr. Sarvey's performance took place in a closed meeting as provided by the Minnesota Open Meeting Law. As Mayor of the City of Winona, I will now provide a summary of the conclusions reached by the City Council from the December 16 closed meeting regarding the performance evaluation of Mr. Sarvey. Mr. Sarvey has met expectations as City Manager. Mr. Sarvey continues to work to gain experience and knowledge of the community and city operations. Mr. Sarvey works well with other city employees, the public, and businesses, and the City Council appreciates Mr. Sarvey's service to the city and looks forward to continuing its employment relationship with Mr. Sarvey for the betterment of the Winona community. Also, I want to mention that many people are already starting to get the whiff of this, I guess. That there is a commercial being made in Winona. There's a pretty large group of people here staying at one of the hotels, and they're going to be doing a filming around Winona, in downtown Winona, but also other places over the next 2 days. And from what we understand, it's a national commercial for kind of an upstart technical business or internet business. And that's about all we know for sure this evening. So it's kind of exciting to know that somebody's here and are filming something that's going to be seen nationally in our community. And I also, let's see here, also just wanted to mention that I have had several people speak to me about their concerns about driving through Lake Park. And apparently there's a lot of people that are, going through from Huff Street to Hamilton Street, and they're bypassing Sarnia, and they're apparently speeding through there. And I think maybe we could maybe pick up some additional enforcement there, but also take a look at whether or not we could maybe lower the speed limits through the park. And I'd like to ask city staff to maybe take a look at that and report back to the council at a later date. And that's all I have. City manager?
Your Honor, based on the last question you had, city staff is looking at the speed on that roadway, and also we have instructed the police to increase enforcement as well.
Okay.
Councilmember Alexander, you're going to talk about the event that was today? Okay, then I will. Thank you.
I figured as much. All right, well, roll call.
Mayor Peterson.
Here.
Councilman Thurley.
Here.
Moeller. Here. Alexander. Here. Iden. Here. Borzakowski.
Here.
Schulmeyer.
Here.
And under the required public hearings, item 2.1 is the wetland application decision for 1275 Riverview Drive.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The city's wetland policy requires council approval of wetland replacement plans. In this case, a replacement plan has been submitted by Fastenal to disturb approximately 0.17 acres of wetland at 1275 Riverview Drive. The wetlands are proposed to be replaced by 0.34 acres of wetlands in Wabasha County. On October 25th, city staff met on site with the city's technical evaluation panel. The technical evaluation panel consists of representatives from Winona County, the state, as well as the U.S. Army Corps. They help the city provide direction on wetland applications. In this case, they recommended approval of the application in front of you tonight, as does staff. Should council concur with approval, a motion to attach the resolution, which is a motion to approve the resolution which is attached to your packets would be in order.
Thank you, Carlos. Questions for Carlos or motion?
It's a public hearing.
Public hearing.
Oh, sorry. Sorry about that.
Trying to-
Go to the public hearing open and ask if there's anybody here that wishes to speak. And we have an individual.
Good evening, Mayor, council persons. My name is Dana Johnson. I work at Fastenal. I reside here in Winona at 494 Cary Court. I've here since 1972. We've owned this land at 1245? 1275, excuse me. I think for over 20 years. We hope to at some time in the future develop some more storage there. So this was just part of the site development plan. We realized that we had to do some mitigation to make it happen, and worked well with city staff and Corps of Engineers to come through with it. So if there's any questions by the council or mayor, I'm here to answer the questions that you might have.
Any questions for Mr. Johnson? Al?
Well, first, I'm impressed with the application. It's very comprehensive. I assume this is the old Madison Silo site where your retail store is located?
That's correct.
Okay, so again,
I think the site itself is 7.5 acres, and it's been kind of underutilized for a number of years, so we hope to make better use of the land.
yep, thank you.
Any other questions?
I guess not. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Appreciate your time.
All right. Is there a motion?
I'd make a motion to adopt.
Boy, if anybody else wishes to speak? Too much of our ear. Anybody else wish to speak? Close the public hearing. Now we can do a motion.
I'll make a motion. It's not really your fault. There's no one out there. So.
Well, Mary's
Mary
out
might
there.
speak.
wanna
Mary
speak
might
to this.
speak. I'm so sorry. I'll make a motion to adopt the attached resolution and accept the 3 attachments.
I'll second it.
All right, motion by Michelle and seconded by Al. Any discussion? Paul?
Yeah, just some clarification, Carlos. I noticed that even though there are letters from members of the TEP, that their signatures aren't actually on the forms, pages 29, 30, and 33. And I'm guessing for legalities, their signatures need to be on the form, so will they be signing that, or what's the situation there?
We have email concurrence from them, and that does satisfy.
That's okay.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Anything else? Now, let's vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries.
Under the petitions, requests, and communications, item 3.1 is the Walk to End Alzheimer's request on Saturday, October 3rd.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion by Michelle, seconded by Eileen. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries.
Under new business, item 5.1 is the right of first refusal on the cobblestone land purchase.
I'd make a motion to waive and release or terminate our right of first refusal and accept the items A, B, C, and D as the attachments.
I'll second that.
Motion by Michelle, seconded by Pam. Discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries.
Item 5.2 is the joint and cooperative agreement for public safety purchasing.
Make a motion to approve the joint and cooperative agreement for public safety.
Second.
Motion by Michelle, I think it was George, seconded. Any discussion? George?
Can they explain a little more in detail what all this is about? We purchase equipment with,
We purchased equipment from Clary's. There's a group of fire departments that have joined in the city, or in the state of Minnesota, to purchase air pack equipment. And since in our CIP, we're anticipating purchasing air packs over the next several years. By joining this cooperative, we'll save several $1,000s by purchasing it along with the other departments.
good.
Anything else? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries.
Item 5.3 is the amendment to the Green Mark Community Solar Garden Agreement.
Move to approve.
Second that.
Motion by Paul, seconded by Pam. Discussion?
We need to rescind.
Al? John?
I think this is a rescind of a motion plus approval of an additional motion, and maybe, John, you have some more information.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Yes, it is kind of a complicated motion, and actually our council recommends a different wording than what is in your packet. What we would recommend is the wording would be, the council concurs a motion to rescind the prior motion of approval from December 2nd, 2019, and instead approve the attached replacement First Amendment to the community solar contract, and authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute the same would be in order. So to give you some background, basically this is a very similar amendment to what was brought forward in December, but the company has more capacity that's come available, and they're looking to fill that capacity, so they basically just doubled the quantity that they want. They want the city to subscribe for this amendment, as well as also increasing our discount rate. So the First Amendment was never fully executed by the company, so that way we're just going to, the simplest way would be just to ignore that, abandon that amendment, and have this new amendment take the place of what was there before, and also what they recommended, or what they're asking for here presently.
Is our motion adequate as we
Yeah,
have it?
as
Okay.
worded,
All right.
but I do have a question.
Go
So as these community solar projects and the subscriptions go, subscribers come in, subscribers go out. Do you see that it's possible that they might come up with another % or two in a year or two, and that you might be back here? Not that it's a bad thing, I'm just wondering if that's a possibility.
That could be a possibility. I would say that this is all beginning at the beginning. They were just kind of figuring out what different subscribers had in order to be, what they could give towards their capacity. And so this is just a matter of working through the Excel process of understanding what the current subscription is. So I don't foresee, unless someone drops out in later years, any large piece coming forward. Okay. But it's possible that we may be able to take on some additional capacity, but no way of knowing.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? All right, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
And item 7.1 is council concerns.
All right, we'll start with Michelle.
Well, as you can tell from the very colorful display behind you, that we had our Koshivian Capital Centennial kickoff today, launching 35 unique events in the city of Winona. Our first one is sold out, although I will say there are 2 seats left in one of the sessions for February. Otherwise, our next big event is in March, for the March of the Pomeranians, a pet parade, and I'll come back to you every month with what's going to be happening. But we have a master artisan for Vichinaki that's coming down to teach 2 sessions February 8th. And as I said, there's 2 seats left in session 1, and the rest are sold. So go to kcc2020.org and sign up, because those tickets are limited for the workshops, especially when we're bringing people in from Poland. We can't keep bringing them back again and again to teach the sessions. So unique opportunity. It should be a pretty great year. And I did find out at the end of our kickoff that Island City Brewery has created a special KCC beer, and I'm going to get to taste it tomorrow at the steering committee meeting. It smelled amazing. So I guess I would suggest everyone go down and grab himself a growler. That's all.
Well, thank you for all you're doing and for your committee and everybody that's working so hard on this. Eileen?
Happy New Year.
Okay, Al?
Just a reminder, the annual Kiwanis Sunriser Club Christmas tree pickup is going to be held this Saturday from 9 a.m. to noon. And according to a press release, they have to dispose of their trees, keep it on the southeast corner of their block before 9 a.m. I know there's always been an issue with trees that are late, and the city has ended up picking up those trees. And so if people who wish to dispose of their trees, obviously the real ones, not the artificial ones, would have them out at that time on the southeast corner, that would probably be saving the city some extra work.
Okay, thank you. Pam?
Thank you, Al, for clarifying which corner the trees are to be on. On my block, I see trees now on
Yes.
2 corners, and neither of them are the southeast corner. So, if anybody's listening out there, you should move your trees. I had the pleasure to spend New Year's Eve, part of New Year's Eve, over at the Sobieski Park Lodge, the new lodge. I'd never been there for an event before, and I was extremely impressed. It's a beautiful place. And so credit to all those who built it, fundraised for it, and who maintain it now. It's a wonderful feature of that part of town. That's all.
Paul?
I'd like to acknowledge Councilmember Alexander and the committee that is doing the work for KCC 2020. I also want to encourage everybody to do a drive-by of City Hall and look at the banners outside. They're quite a compliment to the structure, though the structure is excellent by itself. And I just want to say that I had an opportunity to have a tour of Island City Brewery on Saturday and get a look and a pre-sample of the brew.
How was it?
That's excellent. So I'm sure everyone will enjoy it. So.
George?
Okay, thank you. I have a New Year's wish or a resolution, whatever you want to call it, and I asked here Wednesday whoever came up with the phrase New Year's resolution, because you don't keep them anyway. So my New Year's resolution this year is I'm going to give up smoking because I don't smoke. But anyway, on a serious note of things is that I hope that as the snow melts and it's going to be getting colder, and as we move in, I just hope that the residents of all the households in our town can perhaps clean their yards up, clean up their alleys. The downtown alleys need a good cleaning as well too. Remove your junk cars, remove anything that's laying around, and let's make our community look very, very nice. It did, and let's do it again as we enter this year. It's going to be a big celebration. There's going to be people moving all around town. It would be nice to see yards and things cleaned up and alleyways cleaned up as well. So my New Year's wish, I guess we could put it. And also, tomorrow night at 6:30, there is the East End Neighborhood Watch meeting at Sobieski Park. tomorrow evening. Then also, I'd just like to pass on condolences to the family of John Hale. John, who worked as a truck driver in his early years, then he headed up the program, the truck driving program out at Minnesota State College Southeast Tech, became a grant writer for him, and he only had one wish for everybody. He wanted everybody to be successful at no matter what you did. He wanted to see people succeed. To his wife Marge and his 3 sons, condolences on the passing of a very, very good man. Thank you.
And under the consent agenda, there's one item, the approval of the minutes from December 16th.
Move to approve the consent agenda?
Second.
Motion by Al, seconded by Eileen. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Adjourned.
I forgot my pen.